Ciao ragazzi, ben arrivati a un'altra nuova puntata del Calice Nero. Siamo ritornati un attimino prima di presentare il nostro ospite. Ragazzi, mandato appunto da Alessandro, il progetto appunto assolutamente ve lo farò vedere. Guardate che bellina anche tutta la grafica del Calice Nero e tutto, anche il disegnino.
Il calice è stupendo. Grazie Alessandro, grazie mille.
Infatti anche come l'ha fatto e tutto, molto molto carino. Infatti volevo ringraziare assolutamente Ale. Questo è il progetto, infatti, eccolo qua, veramente, poi se ne parlerà con molta calma su tutto il progetto, nome e tutto, e verrà fatta la video recensione e tutto. Poi a fine puntata presentiamo anche il prodotto.
Ovviamente, prima di presentare il nostro ospite, vi vogliamo dire che non mettiamo indirizzi o nostri PO Box, quindi cassette postali in descrizione, perché il maestro ha un'esperienza di inondazione totale da parte della posta, quindi cerchiamo sempre di proporre i nostri due indirizzi privatamente, ma non perché dobbiamo nascondere qualcosa, ma perché comunque selezioniamo non genere i progetti meritevoli, anche perché comunque ragazzi la posta costa, quindi se un progetto non rientra nella nostra trasmissione lo evitiamo di far andare. Però ragazzi, stasera è una bellissima puntata. Intanto mi rompe i coglioni il computer che mi dice antivirus qua, antivirus là, ma questa puntata già è pregna proprio di epicità, perché abbiamo l'occasione di intervistare in diretta solo per voi sul Calice Nero. Infatti vi chiediamo di interagire e tra l'altro forse ci raggiungerà come co-ospite Giacinto del Villa Fest, però forse, perché ha problemi lavorativi, vediamo se riesce anche lui ad essere in diretta. Oggi intervisteremo Thomas dei Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio. Ce l'avete richiesti in tanti, non siamo io per esempio sono cultore del mio folk, ma sono onorato di avere un progetto di questa caratura nel programma. Personalmente è un progetto che ascolto, non ne faccio, non lo nascondo, loro detti in June, cioè sono i miei preferiti, no?
Sono Invictus.
Esatto. Tra l'altro Sol Invictus anni fa, proprio con Volt Lab, facemmo un festival chiamato Sol Invictus Metal Fest, quindi per farvi capire la mia passione non solo per il metal, ma anche per il folk, neofolk e questa musica che comunque è stupenda, perché noi che parliamo proprio di emozioni.
Ciao Ale.
E quindi senza indugiare, aspetta che il maestro ti fa vedere il CD, è arrivato, grazie. Senza indugiare, perché ovviamente ci sta aspettando, so he's waiting for us, and without further ado I will introduce with a lot of honor and happiness by my side, because we got Ordo Rosarius on the show. Yeah, I'm excited. Thomas, welcome to Il Calice Nero.
Hi.
Hello Thomas.
Hello Thomas, welcome to the program. I hope that you will share an amazing 1 hour with us, talking about your project, and also sharing with us some things about art, music, but mostly about your project, that we are both fans. A lot of fans asked if we can interview Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio, so for us it's a special episode tonight, and we hope that you will have fun. Thank you for being here. Without further ado, Matteo, l'abbiamo viste le foto, non ti preoccupare, ne discutiamo dopo la diretta, non ti preoccupare. Maestro, prima domanda. First question for the maestro. As always, guys, in Italian, I will translate and we try to have a nice conversation tonight. Vai maestro.
Gli ho rotto abbastanza le palle a Thomas per venire del Calice, lui è stato sempre d'accordo, quindi sono contento. Allora, la prima domanda, Thomas, è abbastanza squilibrata, quindi con il nome Equilibrio, all'incontrario, il senso inverso, diciamo. Allora, ma se tu fossi un equilibrio squilibrato, astratto e psicopatico allo stesso tempo.
Te la sei pure scritta, maestro, ma stai perdendo colpi.
Di un colore viola, ma non è da parte mia, di un colore viola che tende al marrone, ma senza rosario e con poco ordine. Come sarebbero le tue melodie di chitarra? Ripeto, non è da parte mia.
Allora, io provo a tradurre il senso, perché c'è anche un po', se l'ha fatta Lorenzo Nocturnal, c'è anche un po' di autoironia alle domande del maestro. So the first question is actually from the guy that composed the intro music, Lorenzo Nocturnal, that we want to make a little shout out because he made the intro music for the Calice Nero. He's asked you about the name of your project, how it's generated, but also the term equilibrio, the equilibrium. He said between the chaos and the order, you know, something like that. And also he set the color of your project, of course, in violet and purple. So he said how much chaos is inside the equilibrio and how much order is inside the chaos. So I don't know if I translated well the question. It's a little bit philosophical. I hope that you will like this kind of.
It's a philosophical question. I'm very ordered. I have to be ordered but there's chaos in the very beginning, and then the chaos starts to unravel, becoming order. So I think the name in itself represents the process of creation. You're still here because I just see myself.
Yeah. I was zooming yourself to focus.
Okay. That was unpleasant.
I was just closing the door because there is some external noises, so I try to keep as quiet.
No, but it's very hard. The question is, what's the answer he wants? Because is there order in chaos? Is there chaos in order?
No problem. You can elaborate if you want.
Yeah, I can probably elaborate. I can elaborate for a whole hour, but
we like this kind of things actually. So you can. You have to.
We've been going around. First, when Equilibrio it came out of the ashes of Arca Satani back in, when was it, 1993. There was a lot of chaos with Arca Satani. We basically just worked out of chaos. Everything that we ever made was it was happening at that very moment. If there would have been any other moment, it would have sounded differently. But when Ordo was established, it was sort of an anti-project to itself, because I needed something more organized. Me and Michael were different, but I love structure. All my music is structurized. I can't work out of chaos. I need things to be established pattern wise. It needs balance up. It can't be 3, it has to be 4. It can't be 6, it has to be 8. So, but in the process of going from point A, where everything begins, the birth, and moving forward into any album, it's a psychological evidence. It's an evidence of my personal state of mind from the point of birth until the point of finish. And in that aspect, I suppose that, everything is born out of chaos.
Okay, very actually, it's very cool answer, because of course, as listeners or external musician, we got a different perspective of what the project is, and also the soul that aims the whole wheel that going on. No, so the things that you said that that Ordo was like an anti-project, was kind of unique, because we always talk about the music, and also about the perception as listeners. Of course, when we listen something like what you play and compose, we get really carried about emotion and stuff, and we could never imagine about that behind every project there is a man with his own vision. So what you said, it's really interesting in this point of view, because it's kind of I can explain. It's kind of unique, because everyone has unique approach, and this leads me to ask you about, since you are very methodic, as you said, what is your inspiration? This is also a question that our buddy Alessandro makes a lot. What from you got inspired when you compose? And of course, there is a setting, a kind of a place that you prefer to be inspired, or maybe the inspiration can come and go from different situation. I don't know, emotion, films, soundtracks. I don't know.
Everything and nothing inspiring. Music for me is the manifestation of an emotion. I work exclusively on mental images and emotions that give me, let's say, a psychological imprint. I get an impression about something, and then I sit down, normally in this room where I'm sitting right now, and I try to manifest that emotion, that image that I have inside, into sound and words that correspond. And I think many people want to believe that because our music is a certain way, I have to feel a certain way to make it dark, that you have to be dark in mind to make dark music. Maybe I am dark in mind. I don't think so, but I think that when I'm happy, I'm able to make much darker music than when I'm sad, because if I feel sad, I don't want to make dark music. I want to feel happy. I think people don't really aspire to feel sad. Anybody who feels sad is not really happy with feeling sad. So when, for example, Nihilist Notes that was just released, it was created during a very dark period in time. It was created during the pandemic. And I think that it became a psychological outlet of my impressions here at home, because everybody was locked down. I think you were more locked down than we were. Sweden society was quite free. We were able to move freely. We were basically able to do most of the things we did before the pandemic, but still we were affected. Couldn't travel, couldn't go anywhere. We had no concerts. Interactions with friends and family across the globe didn't exist. So you become very isolated. And I think the whole album became a manifestation of that isolation, feelings I had during the pandemic. And it's quite dark. It's quite much more sinister than for example, Let's Play that was released before. But it's not necessarily created a very sad state of mind, but a very focused state of mind that wants to manifest what I feel at that particular time.
Perfect. And I don't know if I don't get it or something, but just to talk about the pandemic period, you said that something was composing during that time. It was good for your way to express the music, because I know musicians from all over the world that have two completely different opinions. A lot of people composed a lot because of the isolation and stuff. A lot of people do not compose anything because they cannot pretend to be in something that was like that. How you lived? Of course, I know that you composed something, but how you lived this kind of situation that we do not know basically the future. And what do you think about the future as inspiration to create something and build up during the years? Of course, as a many project, you work year by year, you know. That would be great to see your perspective.
I think I'm probably represented by the second category. I could not compose anything during the pandemic. I felt totally uninspired during the whole pandemic. It was at the very start of the pandemic when I felt frustration and anger that everything. I composed the album from October until January when the pandemic happened. So Nihilist Notes was recorded in 3 months. And after the album was done, I did nothing. It was impossible for me to find inspiration to create anything. So the entire pandemic, the entire period of 2 years became entirely unproductive, because I think others feel the same, that in order to find inspiration, you need the energy. And normally we find the energy when we have social interactions and concerts. So because of that, it was void. Everything was just empty.
Okay. Thanks for your interesting answer to our question. Before there is a particular question from a user, our fan Iblis, that we greet as always. Grazie Iblis per la domanda. But before going further, since we talked a lot, people are as always asking about the resume/translation. So you will have some minutes to espouse. So I will translate and resume a little quickly. a little quickly, I don't know, it's in English good, a little quickly, but quickly I will resume the whole meaning of your answers. Ok, thank you.
Yeah.
Allora, per prima cosa abbiamo fatto varie domande, varie discussioni. La prima domanda l'ha fatta il maestro per nome di Lorenzo Nocturnal, che salutiamo, che si parla di metodologia, ordine e caos, anche partendo dal nome Ordo Rosario Equilibrio. Praticamente lui ha risposto che è una persona molto metodica e molto sistemata, e quindi praticamente per lui è molto fissato, tra virgolette, con i pattern, con le scelte, con le situazioni che devono essere super metodiche. Per quanto concerne l'inizio del progetto, come ben sapete, a inizio anni 90 praticamente è nato il gruppo, come lui definisce antiprogetto, quindi qualcosa che non doveva manco essere principale, al suo vecchio gruppo, come ben sappiamo, gli Archon Satani. E quindi lui ha iniziato questo progetto come progetto, diciamo, sperimentale, tra virgolette, e poi è diventato il progetto principale sostanzialmente. Abbiamo parlato comunque delle sensazioni, delle emozioni dietro, del suo fatto di essere metodico e di come l'ultimo materiale è stato composto e registrato velocemente. Io gli ho chiesto semplicemente, ma tu durante la pandemia, siccome abbiamo sentito vari musicisti che hanno avuto due differenti poli, se è stato produttivo o non è stato produttivo, perché poi ho chiesto anche le ispirazioni lui ha detto che possono venire da tutto o da niente. Molte volte la sua musica oscura viene a lui quando è felice. Infatti Iblis ha scritto una bellissima frase, sad is to be happy, happy is to be sad, su questa cosa. E quindi praticamente abbiamo parlato del periodo velocemente della pandemia e di come non abbia avuto proprio stimoli per comporre, che di solito lui componeva tanto e subito, però proprio la mancanza di interazione sociale ha fatto sì che è stato un periodo completamente non troppo produttivo per il suo progetto. Come ricordiamo è attivo dagli anni 90, 1993, quindi diciamo si è trovato anche lui da musicista navigato in difficoltà. E poi abbiamo parlato appunto della genesi appunto di della sua musica, del suo progetto, e soprattutto il fatto che lui è una persona estremamente metodica. Ok, so I think that I covered everything up. I try to resume and translate at the same time. Maestro, there is a question from Iblis, so I will do the question before yours. Iblis asked direct to Thomas about your collaboration with MZ 412. I say, just to be quick. What you can say about this collaboration? How was and how it happened in the first place?
Yeah, I knew Henrik before, and we started talking. We were all part of the same clan at that point. We were all part of the Carmanic clan, the family, the Colit collective, and it was fun. It's history now, but we're still in bi-regular contact. And we were quite young, and they were working on a new album. We started talking, and I went from Stockholm, where we were living at that time, to Karlskoga, where they were living. And we entered the studio, and we made the recording over for about a day. And yeah, it came out very nicely. I think it was also quite fun that several years later, I think 15 years later, we partially re-recorded the track for the vinyl release, which was out on Cold Spring a few years ago. It was fun to just hear the development of what we did back then to what we did now. It was a nice project. I hope we can do it again.
Okay, perfect. My question linked to the question of Iblis, since we are talking about collaboration. In Italy, of course, the name Spiritual Front is huge in the scene. So I want to ask you the same question, but with Spiritual Front. I know that you make back in the days a split album. So how was the situation also with Italy? Asking not only about Spiritual Front and Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio, but also if you had the chance to be here in concert and with the people, how was the situation in Italy?
I love Italy. It's fantastic. I love being in Italy. It's been a long time since we were there last time. I think we haven't been in Italy since we played at In Folk Noctis in Milano. I don't remember which year it was, but yeah, Italy is one of my favorite places in the world. We have great friends in Italy. I love Italy. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the Italian carelessness, the very anti-Swedish way of accepting life, eating late, drinking late. Rules are recommendations. Here, rules are rules. In Italy, it's recommendations about how not to behave. No, Italy is fantastic. I got to know Simone years ago. I don't remember which year, but we met for the first time in Vienna and at the Hauck Festival, and he's easy to like. He's a person who's very easy to appreciate. So we became friends, and he started coming to Sweden, and we discussed the possibility of doing a split together. And I think that we have talked about having a second album, the Satyrios #2, but we never got around to it because right now we are working with different labels who have different perspectives on how things should be handled. So I don't think the second album will ever happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Simone correct in his interview. But it was a very nice experience to work together with someone else like that, doing a collaboration together. Yeah, we're different. I'm Swedish, he's Italian. We work differently. I'm methodical. He's not. When it comes to certain things, he's probably very methodical when it comes to certain things. But yeah, but it was fun. It was a very successful release, both for him and for us. And it's very sad it's still released after it sold out years ago.
We hope that maybe for the future will be this infamous part 2. We hope, because it was my actually not favorite record, because we have to do, I listen from the beginning to the last track, no? Even if 2-3 track, I try to listen the whole product in the same time, and we hope that will be the possibility to expand its collaboration. So it's also good because we see things from outside, and we do not know that the main core of the collaboration is usually friendship and also mutual respect between bands and projects. So it's a simple answer, but also very good this time, that of course relationship with human beings are kind of distancing themselves via the period that we lived some years ago. So it's good to hear that, I know it's simple, but
friendship is the natural process of any interaction with other human beings. So for me, it would be hard to work with people that I don't respect musically. If I can't associate with what they're doing, it's very hard to interpret what they're doing and find a mutual path where to create something together. So it was quite natural with Mone, after hearing his music and getting to know him as a person, to find a common ground to work together.
Okay, I think that it's the same also with Enrikov MZ412. The main core of a collaboration is the friendship, of course. So it's good.
Yes.
It's good to know. Usually we on the podcast, on the video podcast, we do a lot of metal because we are mainly metalheads, and of course people is always said about friendship, but also we notice that the scene is a little bit divided. But it's good when people stuck together for one goal, basically one nation, one goal, to make art and music. So it's good to leave this message as a legacy, by the way, to say music and art first, and then the other things comes later. But we hope that, of course, the second part will be happened in the future. But we leave some space for the people to make comments. If you have questions to Thomas, guys, you have the chance to ask, write in the comment, and I will, as always, translate, and the maestro will make the next question. Praticamente, ragazzi, abbiamo parlato delle collaborazioni con MZ412, che l'ha chiesta Iblis, e con i Spiritual Front, che hanno fatto uno split. Ci doveva essere anche una parte 2, ma ci sono differenze di veduta tra le label e quindi non si sa se si farà, quando si farà. Però, per farvela breve, il riassunto è l'amicizia. Se lui non si lega a livello umano, a livello di amicizia, infatti con Simone di Spiritual Front l'ho incontrato a Vienna, comunque invece con Hendrik si è trasferito proprio da una parte all'altra. Se non c'è il rispetto reciproco, l'amicizia e la stima, le collaborazioni non si fanno. Quindi tutte le collaborazioni sono diciamo, vertono su questa cosa. E ho detto, in un periodo in cui si parla sempre di stare distanziati e divisi, sapere che ci sono arte e musica e amicizia che vanno prima di tutto il resto è un messaggio che secondo me deve rimanere impresso negli anni, insomma. Un po' filosofico pure io, maestro, questa sera, però ci sta. Vai con la prossima domanda, maestro, così facciamo diamo anche il tempo alle persone di fare i loro commenti. Ragazzi, nei commenti scrivete a Thomas che è vostro per quest'ora, quindi vi risponderà a tutte le vostre domande. Vai, maestro.
Allora, quanto è complesso per gli Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio creare arte all'interno di una musica particolarmente filosofica, e allo stesso tempo quanto potrebbe essere una sorta di colonna sonora di qualche film contorto, ma non vuol dire horror, ma vuol dire un qualche film anche muto.
Okay, so the question of the maestro is basically two in one. The first part is we love this kind of topic about art and music, the composition, sensation, and emotion. How you can be in the mood also with your band members to create something like that. You know that you said about inspiration earlier, but the maestro wants to know the whole composition process, but about not making music, about making art, because of course is the visual, and the music all in one, video, artworks, graphics, all the stuff in one piece. And also Alan wants to ask if you have to pick your music to be as a soundtrack of a crazy weird film, something really niche film, really strange, something like that. What's your favorite movie to say, oh, would be great if my music would be part as soundtrack? Which movie you will pick?
Yeah, if I would pick a movie that would represent our music, that's the question.
Yeah. And also, if you have a movie that you like, that you dream about making
the question would be if I could pick a movie that I can say would represent Ordo as I see it, or
yeah, basically it's this: choose whatever you feel to be perfect as a soundtrack, because imagine that you will be hired to compose a soundtrack from zero, or using
that's another thing. If I would be asked to make a soundtrack for a movie, that would damn, that's a hard question.
We know, but we are curious about.
You take me off guard. Movies. I watch.
L'abbiamo presi sorpresa, maestro.
No, normally when I watch movies, I watch horror primarily, or otherwise we watch drama. But I haven't watched a lot of movies in the last few years. We have basically watched series. Watching all these series, so many, all sorts. But if I could, a movie that would represent, I love Tinto Brass. I think Tinto Brass is fantastic. It's yeah.
Okay.
I think
it's strange to associate it to Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio, but I think that a little bit can be great because of all the stuff around him. You know what I mean, basically.
Yeah.
But I think that
but I love his movies. I think Paprika, for example, is a fantastic movie. Majority of his movies are really, really good. They're extremely sample friendly to take small excerpts from here and there, both musically and from sort of dialogue point of view. I think they're in Italian, it would probably be even better, but when you buy them, they're normally dubbed, and they're dubbed into some sort of terrible English version where they have a German accent. It's quite fantastic. But I think that Lars von Trier is also a fantastic director whose movies I can like The Antichrist or The Idiots. It's great movies that there's The Idiots, for example. There we have the representation of chaos. There are so many movies. I think that, but if we talk about the process of Ordo, I think that you said that who's creating what, who, blah blah. If I create everything, if there's a mutual vision about all the members, the process record is usually I do everything. I make a complete work, a complete song that is finished. Then I leave the song to the others in the band to interpret as they wish. And then they send me their offerings. If it's a trunk or if it's guitar, if it's bass, they send it back to me. I listen to it. I come to the conclusion if I feel that it's good enough or if it represents the song that I mixed in, otherwise re-record. Then successively we reach a point of conclusion where everybody's happy, volumes are correct, everything is correct. But it's a process. I don't leave a song to anyone to add instruments to unless I feel that if I die now, it can still release without the others.
Okay. And of course, there's a little bit of nerdy producing question just to complete the everything. You you have your own studio when you produce, and you have your own environment. For example, when we interviewed people like Mortis, for example, he has his own space without any external influence. He basically closes himself and compose. So you have your studio, normal studio. You say that you are now in your place when you compose your environment. Yeah. You are now when you. And what do you think about the difference between being in the studio and being composing in your own place? What is the difference artistically? If you have to go to a studio, there is a more cold atmosphere, or it's the same? Or do you prefer to do everything in your studio when you have to release or stuff like that?
I never go to the studio. I've never been to a studio. I've always recorded everything at home from first note until final product. Never go to the studio. I master myself here in the studio. So I'm self-sufficient. It's just one process in the same place from the first note until the final DDP that I send for print.
Okay.
So anyway, I do. No,
sorry. I have a little bit of latency when you talk, so I don't mean to interrupt you. But basically, you talk, you stop and say, okay, Thomas, it's finished, and then started to add. So sorry about that. I was not meant to interrupt you.
It's good.
So you basically from 0 to 10, you start in your own place. You do not go into use everything self-produced and I don't know if you had the chance to work with an external producer, but just an advice to the young people that are approaching. Nowadays, it's more easy to have to build their home studio. How was the difference between the past and now about the studio environment and the fact that you record and compose everything by yourself? What is changed in the years?
Everything has changed. It's so much easier. Everything is so much easier today. Before, let's say 20, 25 years ago, if you wanted to record an album and be self-sufficient like I am here now, it would have cost you a small fortune to buy the equipment, to buy mixing desks, to buy recording equipment, microphones, to buy everything, to buy a recorder of any sort, if it was just a portable studio or if it was something. But nowadays, all you need is a relatively decent computer and then you can just choose your software and your platform from the standards that your computer possesses. You don't have to have the worst studio ever for creating decent music nowadays. You just need a decent sound card, a decent microphone, and a decent computer. Then you're pretty much self-sufficient.
Okay, perfect. Now, before going further, there are two questions, one from Maria and one from our friend Giacinto from the Villa Fest Umbria, which was a very interesting festival back in the Monte del Lago some years ago. Ciao Giacinto, grazie per essere passato. Giacinto, se vuoi ti ho mandato il link in privato se vuoi raggiungerci in diretta. Comunque, prima di iniziare, before I liked their comments, because one is about Cold Meat Industry and one's about the live concert. As always, Thomas, just have some time if you have to drink water and stuff like that. I will resume/translate. Ok, cheers. Praticamente abbiamo parlato della parte artistica, Maestro, e della parte riguardante i film. Per quanto riguarda i film, lui ci ha pensato un po' perché per lui la domanda era molto difficile. Alla fine ha convenuto, in quella parte in cui non era in diretta, ha convenuto che Tinto Brass è perfetto come film per la sua musica. Io ho fatto una grossa risata perché tra tutti proprio non me lo immaginavo lui, però poi pensandoci bene ci sta, e lui dice che sostanzialmente l'italiano è meglio e lui ha avuto solo occasione di sentire delle versioni sottotitolate / doppiate, una schifezza con accento tedesco e cose del genere. Però il film Tinto Brass, per quanto riguarda la parte artistica, ne abbiamo parlato anche adesso, compone tutto da 0 a 100 al suo home studio, manda le canzoni agli amici, i bandmates, e praticamente dal momento in cui si compone al momento in cui si manda il file DDP, che è quello per stampare il CD, lo fa tutto lui, e si interscambiano i ruoli tra band member e lui. Praticamente si passano il materiale finché non sono diciamo soddisfatti. Infatti mi sembra che abbia detto che nel caso dovesse tra virgolette morire, le canzoni pronte da rilasciare ce l'hanno e non sono in computer, rimangono sempre in computer, perché devono avere tutti diciamo i layer aggiuntivi, devono avere un senso e devono anche essere decisi insieme, una visione comune. Però il main composer, il mastermind, rimane lui. Per quanto concerne i film, l'abbiamo detto, abbiamo parlato dell'autoproduzione, siccome lui si autoproduce tutto, e dice che adesso è molto più semplice perché non serve avere grossa strumentazione per produrre musica di qualità. Prima ha detto che si investiva delle piccole fortune per i mixing desk, per i microfoni, le schede audio. Adesso va tutto il digitale, quindi il digitale aiuta all'artista di essere più libero, perché con un investimento anche relativamente basso c'è anche, e con le competenze giuste, c'è anche la possibilità di autoprodursi da 0 a 100 come fanno loro. Quindi lui non è andato mai in studio. Tutto quello che io per esempio non lo sapevo, perché sono un neofita, no? Però tutto quello che sentite del loro gruppo è totalmente autoprodotto, dalla prima nota all'ultimo mastering, fino al file da mandare all'etichetta per farlo stampare. Ok, so we have one question from Maria. She said, what are the hopes for a future concert wise? What are you see things going back pre-pandemic normalcy? You have some dates or you have something planned that you want to share with us about live concerts?
Yeah, we have 2 live concerts coming up 2 weeks from now. We play in Leipzig on July 8th, and then we play in Poland at Castle Party in Bolkov on July 9th. And then comes summer, and then we have absolutely nothing. And then there's something coming up in November that it's not yet official, but it's coming up in November. Then we have plans. What?
No, you have a website when people can check out the dates, pre-order and stuff like that. Maybe we can add to the links description so people can check. I don't know, pre-order the tickets, order the tickets. I don't know.
We have a website, but I think that the website has grown dead over the last few years because it has less and less people started going to websites. More and more people go to social media. So it started to become pointless to have the website, but we will probably try to resurrect the website and have it a bit more updated. But yes, the dates are available here and there. There are things coming up next year. More concerts. There's a play in Berlin in a year from now, in May 2023. There are requests, but returning to pre-pandemic normality, I'm not sure. It's very, very hard. I've seen the difference in the state of concerts altogether, not only here in Sweden, but I hear from people in Germany, Belgium, things are not the same. People have changed their way of behavior. They're not acting the same way they did before the pandemic. People are not returning to concerts. In Sweden, I just read a news article that 1 out of 4 in Sweden have visited a concert after the pandemic, and concerts are suffering. It's not only within our scene; it's all scenes in Sweden and in Germany. They don't have the same attendance that they used to before the pandemic. We're maybe seeing a decrease, which is close to 60 to 75% in attendance. And more and more organizers are canceling concerts because the clubs demand that people buy pre-sale, and people don't. People don't buy pre-sale because they're afraid that the concerts will be canceled anyway. So they don't buy; they buy at the door, and that becomes a catch-22, because if they buy at the door, the club sees that there are no pre-sales, then the club cancels the concert anyway. So it's very hard. I think that it will take several years for things to return to any sort of normality.
Yeah, I think that
If
will
they-
be. Yeah, I think a lot of time I have to be. I have to pass to have something, because we not have at the pandemic. We are a war coming on, the inflation, costs raising up. So we have to wait more years. But we can agree about the decrease of people. Also, we got a lot of festivals in Italy canceled about this. About the website, there is a fun comment from Maria. Please resurrect the website. We all know that Facebook definitely hates you.
Yeah,
Of course,
they hate
Facebook also hates Calice Nero, because they strike every episode of El Calice Nero when we have music, even if we got the written permission from the labels to air music, but they don't want to say a shit about our permission. So long live the dictatorship of Facebook, and we are streaming on Facebook, yes, by the way. So ciao Mark Zuckerberg, we love you, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, please unban my previous account, because I have some memories that I want to save. Okay, because I got banned. Thanks to Burzum, another one that I want to greet one day and say thank you for my ban on social media. Okay, about the joke, of course. People just type on the internet Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio, and you got all the things about the project, YouTube and stuff. But as Thomas said, he will resurrect the website. Okay. Another question from Giacinto is about your beginning with the cold meat industry. If you can share with us some memories, and I will add something to the Giacinto's question. If you can add some fun memory about that time, not only the
a fun memory about cold meat industry.
Yeah, I know that it's a little bit weird, but I have to.
There are many fun memories about cold meat industry. It's just that the cold meat industry era for me lasted from 93 until 2010. That's 17 years of memories, but it all started actually back. My first encounter with Roger was back in 1989 to be exact. I had just met Mikael Stavestrand, my partner in crime in Arkansas, and he had found Roger's address in a magazine, and we tracked him down using the old-fashioned phone book. Then we found his address, and we walked up to his apartment, and we knocked on the door. That's how it started, the beginning of my life with cold meat industry, and it lasted for many years. We have many fantastic memories about the time when we were there. We where can I start? We were in Greece, 1999. It was my first trip together with Rose that we did as the band. We came to the venue. Athens had just been hit by the earthquake. Things were a bit deconstructed. It looked hell. We came to the club, the Bug Club, and the sales were pretty bad. And the organizers, they kept on saying it. The sales were bad only because Iron Maiden was playing in town the same weekend. I refuse to believe that because I don't think Cold Meat Industry and Iron Maiden shares the same audience. But yeah, we play we come to the club, and first day, lots of people. All the bands are. Cold Meat Industry likes to drink. People of the label likes alcohol, lots of alcohol. Okay. So people are very, very drunk, and they are sleeping here and there. And there are fans from Finland who came all the way, and they are sleeping out in the street outside the club. And Raison d'être, he's also quite drunk at the time, and he starts destroying the interior. They have these decorations behind the stage, and he's quite intoxicated and starts falling into those ornaments, and they start breaking. And then Roger opens up a can of something here which is called surströmming, which is fermented fish. Oh. So he opens that can inside the venue, and yeah, the organizer, they were not very, very happy about that because it started smelling like death inside the venue. People got really scared, and yeah. But there are so many memories. There is actually, I can use this opportunity to say that there is a Cold Meat Industry documentary being recorded.
Oh, okay. So I think that people that wants to know more about that time frame can be satisfied about the releasing of this kind of documentary. So it's
yes,
a little exclusive for il Calice Nero. So thanks, Thomas.
a video documentary about Cold Meat Industry and the artist behind it and the man behind the label. Filmed and directed by Claudio Marino, a Swedish director working for Atrax Films, the man who just made our recent video, To the Gods That Kill.
Okay, it's good to know. So, Giacinto, if you want to know more about the Cold Meat Industry era, check the video when it will be out. Quindi, just as always, Thomas, I will have sometimes to resume and translate for the guys and girls in Italy. Allora, praticamente per la questione dei futuri concerti sono molte cose pianificate tra Svezia e Germania, riassumo perché comunque manca poco, alla fine voglio concentrarmi su più domande. Ci sono cose per il 2022-2023 già fissate, ma ovviamente faranno update sul sito. Non ci sono ancora tante date perché la situazione ancora non è in normalità, perché le persone vanno sempre di meno ai concerti e acquistano sempre di meno i pre-order per via della pandemia. Poi comunque ragazzi, finché non si smaltiscono i 2 anni di pandemia e di rinvii continui, la situazione non tornerà mai alla normalità, questo lo dico io. Per quanto riguarda la Cold Meat Industry, Giacinto, a parte che in esclusiva per il Calice Nero abbiamo una notizione, ossia che uscirà un video documentario sulla Cold Meat Industry per l'uomo dietro la label e gli artisti. Quindi mi raccomando ragazzi, guardatelo, rimanete sintonizzati sulle pagine di Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio perché ci saranno delle belle. Per quanto riguarda l'episodio che gli ho chiesto, quello più divertente, parla di Atene, della città devastata dal terremoto, situazioni al limite, dormire per strada, con fan dalla Finlandia, gente che rompe gli interiori del locale, gente che apre una lattina di pesce fermentato e quindi la puzza di pesce nel locale, i promoter che si inventano la scusa che gli Iron Maiden stanno suonando, quindi loro hanno pochi pre-order, cosa che Thomas dice che non ci crederà mai perché il pubblico di Iron Maiden non è quello degli Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio. E quindi praticamente parla di un tempo in cui molto ampio, Cold Meat Industry, che ha solo ricordi positivi, quindi ha fatto anche piacere rispondere alle vostre curiosità, però mi raccomando amici, non ve ne andate, abbiamo ancora dei minuti insieme a Thomas e quindi lascio la parola sempre al maestro per la prossima domanda. Cerco sempre di fare traduzioni barra riassunti perché voglio dare più spazio all'artista. So, Thomas, I translated and resumed what you said for the people. I invite all the guys to click both on Facebook and on YouTube. There is the automatic translator if you want. If you want to catch every single word, there is this add-on. So long live technology that can help also about this. But the maestro is thinking, I know, is thinking about the next question. So Thomas, be prepared for his next question. By the way, the maestro typed the message me in private. He's wanted to say that again, thanks for being with us, and we hope that you are enjoying the interview, and thanks for your time. We want to make this clear because we know that the most precious gift that an artist can give to us is his time. So thank you again for being part of the podcast.
Thank you.
L'ho ringraziato maestro per il tempo, perché comunque sta passando l'orario con noi e lo ringraziamo di cuore anche per la sua disponibilità. Quindi maestro, vai con la prossima domanda.
Allora, nel 1995 Thomas uscì appunto Rapping the Fallen, The First Harvest. Questo disco, che sensazioni riesce a dare ancora tuttora e quanto questo disco stesso è riuscito a creare un'arte all'interno di una stagione come l'autunno?
Okay, the question of the maestro is about your first album in studio, if I do not mistake, 1995, Reaping the Fallen, The First Harvest. Imagine the place, the season of the setting of the album, the mood in fall and autumn. And he wants to ask you how you agree with this vision, and also if you have a little kind of time machine and go back, what you will change and what you want to make actual this record nowadays. What is making actual this record, and if you still like even after all those years?
I like all the albums. One in some particular way, of course. Otherwise, it would be strange to have released something that I can't stand behind so many years later. But of course, I would change a lot. I would change the production. I would change the composition. I would add more foundation, more bass. I would. But it's a representation of who I was and where I were at that point in time. So, but I agree that it is the way it is. It's an album that was released almost 27 years ago. Is that correct? 28 years ago.
Yeah, I was actually I was born a year later, so the math is correct because.
No, but it's an album. It's an important album because it's the first album that I actually did, and it was the first thing I did after Satani, and I think I was trying to make up my mind about which path I wanted to walk, about how Ordo was supposed to sound, and that's how it came out. And I can live with that. It's a good album for. I was 22 at the time when I released it, so it's okay. I would not do the same album today, that's for sure. But
so you if you have the chance to remake something, you will still leave the album as it is even after all those years. So
yeah, because. If I would, it wouldn't be the same. I know I would appreciate it if I disassembled it and remade everything. Ordo today is Nihilist Notes. It's Let's Play. It's way beyond what we were back in 1995. But of course, if I could sit with the album today, broken down into different sounds, of course, it would sound different. I would remake everything. It would sound.
Okay.
It
Of
would
course,
sound
you will
different.
remake. But the roots of the project is on this album. So basically, you are also emotionally linked to. And Maestro, I want to add something to your question before keeping you with the next one. What if you have to resume in few words, basically using, let's say, three words, three adjectives, the evolution of Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio during those years? What adjectives you will pick? And do you agree with the Maestro saying that about the mood, the fall and autumn is correct for that kind of album? Because I didn't get it before because I was closing doors of people entering the studio. Sorry about that. I missed the last part.
No, I agree. It's
Okay,
a fall. I have the same feeling when I listen to the album. It's very much fall. It's very much autumn. It's the leaves are falling. It's an end of the year album. It's before winter. I think in that aspect, I would say that Conquest, Love, and Self-Perseverance is a summer album.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I have that feeling. And I would say that the Triumph of Light is a spring album. Those are the impressions I have from the feelings that I was carrying at that time. Maybe it's because those were the times in which I created them. Maybe that's why I can associate with Maestro's feelings about the album.
Okay.
But to describe the process of Ordo in three adjectives: passion, struggle, and commitment.
Okay. Interesting. Also, the different season album that I think that someone will be inspired. In fact, Iblis said, "Okay, guys, listen to Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio tonight, but you should listen to them every day." Okay, great, very good. Okay, we have almost close to the end of this video podcast, and so I will let to translate this and make the Maestro make I think the last 1/2 question. Anyway, Giuseppe is commenting, said the album Conquest, Love, and Self Perseverance is a supreme album. He says supreme. So
thank you.
I think that's I agree. Allora, praticamente, Maestro, l'autunno è perfetto per il primo. Allora, l'autunno è perfetto per il primo album. Vi ho dato anche delle altre stagioni per altri album. E ovviamente è inutile che ve li traduco perché l'ha detto abbastanza in ordine, insomma, anche perché comunque vogliamo, siccome stringiamo dei tempi, vogliamo fare più domande. Vi abbiamo chiesto anche 3 aggettivi per diciamo rappresentare il progetto: passione, struggle, che significa, diciamo, possiamo tradurre anche come sacrificio, e poi perseveranza, diciamo. Quindi sostanzialmente abbiamo parlato di questo. E poi ho detto anche della questione del primo album: se potesse cambiare qualcosa lo cambierebbe, perché sono passati tanti anni e comunque è il loro primo album, lui è molto legato, perché rappresenta proprio l'inizio del progetto. Lui dice: adesso lo cambierei, però vorrei che rimanga così com'è, perché rappresenta proprio le radici. Abbiamo usato il termine radici proprio del progetto, perché poi all'epoca aveva 22 anni, è uscito 26-27 anni fa, 1995, e quindi fondamentalmente è un album che ha rappresentato l'inizio di un progetto che comunque porta tuttora, quindi è un album a cui è particolarmente legato. Ovviamente siamo allo scoccare dell'ora, Maestro. Io direi di fare le ultime 2 domande. Vuoi fare già la domanda del Calice oppure vogliamo fare un'altra domanda? Dimmi tu.
Il nome e cognome dell'intestatario.
Vedi, allora, mi è partito un messaggio. Allora, facciamo l'ultima domanda, così non appunto. No.
Maestro, ma ti vedo un poco complesso, stai? Che cosa è successo?
No, sto pensando a altre cose per quello. Allora, facciamo l'ultima domanda.
Ragazzi, mi raccomando, inviate un bella tazza di caffè al Maestro, perché sta un po'.
No. Allora, vediamo un po'. L'ultima domanda è questa. Allora, Ordo Rosarius.
Scusami un attimo, Maestro. Ah sì, Maria, hai ragione. struggle è più lotta interna / combatto con me stesso. Sì, io lo interpreto anche come una questione di sacrificio, perché di solito combattiamo anche con noi stessi per portare avanti dei progetti. Insomma, comunque sì, è più corretta questa, e ti ringrazio di cuore sia per averci seguito la prima volta, ma poi soprattutto per questo intervento. Grazie mille Maria per questo intervento, grazie mille. Ok, detto questo, vai Maestro.
Ok, allora l'ultima domanda sarebbe questa. Gli Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio, tramite appunto Thomas Peterson con la sua batteria, con i suoi riverberi, dovrebbe darci la costruzione in maniera molto tranquilla, in maniera molto genuina, una bevanda che potrebbe entrare all'interno dei pattern di batteria, ma non vuol dire alcolica o non alcolica, ma una bevanda abbastanza velenosa per creare dei 3/4, 4/4
Ho capito.
queste simmetrie di batteria.
Okay, so the last question is our typical question of il Calice Nero, that in English is the literal translation is the black calice, and we always ask this to our guests. So don't be surprised. It's kind of funny question, because we want to, of course, make a serious interview, but we also thanks to the people for their time and the enjoying on this kind of interview. The Maestro asks you, Thomas, if you can name whatever alcoholic or not alcoholic, the perfect beverage, drink, whatever, that can represent the rhythmic section, the patterns. The Maestro says something a little bit poisoned, velenoso, poison. So the perfect beverage that can represent the Ordo Rosario Equilibrio. What kind of beverage would be?
This one. It's tea.
Okay, it's tea.
Tea represents everything. It's the absolute essence of my being.
But which kind of tea? Because I'm a drinker of tea. I have one, all the pockets and the Twinings. Not endorsed
tea,
by Twinings.
It has to be black tea. Green tea is not tea. Red tea is bark, and white tea is horrible. So it has to be black tea. And my favorite tea right now is something called lemon maple syrup.
Okay. Of course, don't say the brand, because we are not sponsored. Sorry, it was just fun joke.
No, I won't say any brands. No brands.
It's interesting about this choice, because people say, of course, beer, vodka, stuff like that. But why black tea with maple syrup?
I drink a lot of tea. I drink maybe 5 liters a day. I always have a fresh pot of tea ready in the kitchen, always. So tea, that's the essence of who I am. So it has to be the signification drink of Ordo. It can't be anything else. Okay. But if you would ask Rose, she would probably possibly mojito.
Okay. But we want to know yours answer. So Maestro, tè nero con sciroppo d'acero, mi pare di aver capito. It's maple syrup, yeah?
Lemon maple syrup. Yeah.
Ok, quindi tè, in questo caso limone e sciroppo d'acero. Dice il tè nero, quello bello forte. Ok, poi facciamo i ringraziamenti dopo. Però penso che possiamo salutare Thomas, perché lui ci ha dedicato un'ora abbondante della sua presenza, e lo ringraziamo. So Thomas,
thank you very much, Thomas.
We arrived to the end of this video podcast, and we want to thank to you again. I know that I'm repeating myself too much, but it was an honor to make this kind of, as Maria said in the comment, a typical and weird interview. Yeah, we are like that. We want to go in depth and ask people something that nobody asks, because we are, first of all, fans, and for us it's a pleasure to have Thomas here. And I know that the Maestro made you a lot of messages asking you the possibilities. So we hope that the Alan, the Maestro's message would be worth about the interview, how much it went about the topics and stuff. So thanks about that. But also we want to leave a message to the people. We me and Alan, Graziano and Alan usually do this in real life with people, speaking about music, philosophy, sensation. When we meet people at concert, book convention, libraries, we do this stuff all the time. So we want to make to the people, make something virtual, but also have a kind of link to the real life. So we want to say to the people, this is not the last time that we got Thomas here on the podcast, but we try also to attend to concerts, to attend and to see people in real life, because we want to promote this kind of curiosity and artistic behavior also to the future generation, to the young people that are approaching this kind of music using the YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook in this case. So we want to leave a kind of message to the artists, and also to make people be closer to the artists, because we live in an era that we have to leave something as legacy, you know. So I think that music is part of this magic circle that we are going to create, but also do not leave this kind of episode also only online, but also in real life. So we hope, Thomas, that you will come back to Italy, and we hope to be in the crowd, and will be a great pleasure to meet you in person one day. So thanks for all your answer. As
Thank you very much.
Giuseppe said.
Thank you. Thank you
about
very much.
Giuseppe, about spiritual front, Thomas already answered, quindi ha già risposto, quindi basta che vai dietro, perché vi ricordiamo tutti gli episodi rimangono online, quindi non è che la diretta poi sparisce. So Giuseppe was asking about spiritual front, but I said that we talked earlier, and we want to say also to the people that, of course, thanks also to sharing to your official page, because this link will be always online, so the live streaming will not expire, so you guys can find the this particular episode and also all of the episode of our video podcast on our YouTube channel, because our YouTube channel is the main channel that you can find Il Calice Nero, www.youtube.com/Il Calice Nero, and you will find all the previous episodes. But without making the head of Thomas giant like that with all our words, we want to leave to him free space, and we will, without Thomas, me and the Maestro will stay just some minutes to make a lot of announcements for the next episode. So Thomas, before closing the episode with you, you have your free space to the fans of Il Calice Nero, and also your fans if you want to share something. And since you talk to the people, I will let you make the zoom on yourself, so we will be more giant on the screen, so you will be okay. You can talk now.
Yeah, thank you everybody who took the time to listen to all these blabberings from me. We hope to see you somewhere in Europe, somewhere in South America, somewhere, definitely not in Russia, but it was fun. We hope that all of you keep coming to concerts, listen to our music, because without your commitment, without your time and affection, we stop to exist. We are only where we are thanks to you. So let's hope we can keep it going for another few years.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Thomas. I don't know the time zone in Sweden now, but hope to have a nice rest of the evening, because in Italy it's like 10, roughly 10 p.m. So have a nice evening, and thanks again for being with us. We hope that we can get in touch with you for a future episode with talking about Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio. So if you have something new going on, of course we follow the social media page, but be sure to update us, because we also have our printed zine and our web zine. So we would like to share all the news about Ordo Rosarius Equilibrio in the future. Thanks again, and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Ok. Ciao Thomas, vai. Ecco qua, abbiamo fatto la diretta. Grazie a tutti per essere stati con noi. Vi ricordiamo ai nuovi arrivati della diretta che ci aiutate in due modi. Uno è totalmente gratuito, è quello di condividere il video, mettere mi piace e iscrivervi al canale, che sia Facebook, Twitch o YouTube, poco importa. Ovviamente YouTube è la nostra principale piattaforma, e vi ringraziamo per essere stati così numerosi in tutte le ore di diretta. Vi ringraziamo anche per le domande e vogliamo dirvi che in descrizione trovate il nostro shop ufficiale endlessfireclothing.com, dove abbiamo appena fatto un update del nostro merchandising print on demand, dove potete trovare cose molto carine come gli asciugamani ricamati a mano, le pantofole, il infradito, le maglie, le felpe, i cappelli e le toppe. Quindi è un modo, se volete sostenerci, se volete indossare il calice nero anche in questa estate non troppo calda, maestro. Potete farlo. Il maestro abitiamo in posti molto vicini, ma anche molto caldi, però per il calice nero queste altre vi ricordiamo che comunque abbiamo tutti i vecchi episodi disponibili, potete guardarli. Ovviamente vi dirà il maestro la programmazione futura a breve, e poi abbiamo un piccolo annuncio da fare riguardante un vecchio episodio. Maestro, puoi ricordare i prossimi appuntamenti? Scusami se ti faccio fare sempre l'agenda, ma sei tu il mastermind che c'hai tutti gli appuntamenti segnati.
La prossima puntata sarà appunto il 20.
Maestro, ti sei mutato.
Allora, il 29 con Ande Scopro e il 30 con Ricard Skill. Poi il 1 luglio ci saranno appunto niente poco di meno che i Mayhem con Attila Scissor. Allora, questa puntata voglio ricordare una cosa, che Gadetron non gli verrà data nessun tipo di possibilità di ritornare sul canale, perché c'è stato appunto paccato in maniera veramente zero serietà, quindi merda non ne vogliamo, non ce ne ha fatto un cazzo che sia sotto Metal Blade, perché i gruppi sotto Metal Blade li abbiamo avuti tipo gli Hate e tipo appunto i Cannibal Corpse, e sono gente seria, perché veramente ci ha dato proprio la massima serietà come band, ma i Gadetron da parte nostra questo, quindi mi dispiace, non ce ne ha fatto un cazzo. I Malevolent Creation si porteranno perché hanno avuto la decenza nel rispondere, anche se in ritardo, ma hanno avuto la decenza nel rispondere. Invece i Gadetron niente, e questo non va bene.
Tra l'altro, amici, accordi presi da mesi, quindi diciamo che il Calice Nero non è che diciamo ha qualche importanza, però abbiamo tutti quanti il nostro tempo, il nostro lavoro, le nostre passioni. E oggi, come potete vedere, come ho detto già nella diretta, nello studio dove lavoro, nello studio di registrazione Volt Lab, che vedete il logo della nostra associazione, c'è gente che sta facendo altre attività e noi abbiamo fatto lo stesso la diretta, proprio perché diciamo che lo spettacolo non si ferma mai. Però ad accordi presi, diciamo che è un po' da fastidio venire trattati come gli ultimi della situazione. È vero, abbiamo poi iscritti, quello che volete, ma se c'è un accordo preso con la Label e con altre artisti della Label, diciamo è anche poco serio non presentarsi e addirittura rimuovere Alan dagli amici semplicemente perché ha fatto notare che l'orario preso concordato insieme alla band non è stato rispettato. Quindi amici, noi diciamo una cosa, ci hanno risposto i Cannibal Corpse che diciamo se li mettono ovviamente nella sacca a questa gente, quindi diciamo che noi siamo già contenti così. Ovviamente non escludiamo altre collaborazioni con altri gruppi Metal Blade, però giustamente l'etichetta dovrà dirci come mai questo atteggiamento che non capiamo. Quindi rispondiamo a un comunicato che è stato fatto sia sulla nostra pagina che su altre pagine. Purtroppo non diamo possibilità a chi non ci rispetta in maniera umana, perché comunque si lavora, si affrontano varie peripezie nel corso della giornata, personale e non, per fare queste puntate che per noi sono una passione, però vogliamo ribadire che non siamo gli ultimi fessi. Quindi se uno ci dà un orario, ne veniamo anche incontro, prendendoci permessi e roba varia, per poi diciamo non essere mai contenti di una risposta, per noi possiamo anche parlare con col Padre Eterno, però non ci va bene, quindi noi faremo presente questa cosa, però ribadiamo con la label nessun problema, perché abbiamo già portato artisti molto più importanti che sono dimostrati veramente delle persone eccezionali. Quindi questo anche per rispondere agli altri che ci hanno chiesto quando verrà rischedulata l'intervista. Mi spiace, ma
no, non verrà rischedulata nulla.
L'educazione al primo posto, perché ricordate che abbiamo di Mayhem, abbiamo di Dark Tranquillity, abbiamo di Cannibal Corpse, abbiamo avuto un sacco di gente veramente ha fatto tanto per essere in diretta e per accogliere la nostra richiesta umilissima, e quindi vogliamo dare spazio alle persone che se lo meritano. Quindi mi raccomando, seguiteci per le prossime puntate. Lascio come sempre l'epitaffio della puntata al maestro con il suo classico, con la sua classica domanda di rito, lasciandovi però prima di concludere la nostra mail, la redazione del Calice Nero @gmail.com. Come avete visto all'inizio episodio abbiamo mostrato il disco che ci ha gentilmente dato il nostro amico oramai follower Alessandro, che ci segue da tanto tempo, e che noi faremo parte nella nostra diciamo, rubrica, che siano recensioni, video recensioni, che sia anche playlist killer, perché il nome del canale lo diciamo brevemente. Il nostro canale si occupa di podcast e chiacchierate atipiche sull'arte a 360 gradi con i nostri artisti. Abbiamo varie rubriche, tra cui una in fase di sperimentazione che si chiama Calice Nero on the road, dove appunto dobbiamo fare ancora l'episodio test che verrà annunciato a breve. L'altra playlist killer dove facciamo una recensione barra ascolto e musica selezionata da noi, dove tentiamo di condividere con voi i nostri ultimi ascolti. E poi abbiamo la rubrica di video recensioni e la rubrica appunto di video interviste. Sperando che questo tipo di contenuto vi piaccia, che va un po' contro lo standard dell'internet moderno, cioè video brevi, corti, eccetera. A noi ci piace parlare tanto e condividere tanto con voi. Sperando che questa cosa vi piace, vi ringraziamo. Se volete, ci potete seguire su Facebook, su YouTube e su Twitch. C'è il nostro merchandising, verrà messo tutto in descrizione, non vi preoccupate. Vi ringraziamo di cuore per il vostro tempo, perché non solo l'artista ci regala il tempo, che è il bene più prezioso, ma anche voi che ci seguite ci regalate il vostro tempo, e quindi vi ringraziamo ancora due volte, perché senza di voi non ci sarebbe il Calice Nero, senza di voi non ci sarebbero Arte Generata, che è la Zin, senza di voi non ci sarebbe la. Quindi io ringrazio voi, il mio amico Alan, oramai la nostra conoscenza si avvicina all'anniversario di conoscenza. Grazie ancora Alessandro, grazie a voi per accompagnarci e farci compagnia in tutti questi episodi. Quindi veramente dall'Anarca e dal Maestro è tutto. Fammelo dire a me, Maestro. Lo spettacolo non si fermerà mai, la morte vi renderà liberi e il sacro codice d'onore è 000. Vi ricordiamo, non è il PIN della carta di credito del Maestro. Un abbraccio e buonanotte a tutti.